Oh, it's Tuesday. Welcome to GenderqueerChat. I'm Andria, as you probably know, and this week we're going to be talking about role models, and that is the topic. So let me read it specifically so that I can get a idea of what it really is. Verbatim. So this is from the Facebook page. Because we have a Facebook page, in case you didn't know. And the question is, did you have any role models or mentors growing up? And do you have any now? And the bonus question is, if you could have one wish come true, what would that be? So, this is a great question. So I'm thinking that the first thing to kind of address with something like this is to ask a question like, what is a role model? And I imagine that could be quite subjective. So I guess for myself, as I kind of went over this, I feel like I'm kind of going to end up dodging that question in a way, but I think that my short answer to this question is basically that I kind of don't have role models, but it depends how we define this. So if one defines it as a kind of a role model as a kind of person to follow or something like that, I don't really have anyone that's particularly like that, and I think that's a fairly good thing. Yeah, so in another sense, though, I think I can certainly answer this question from the perspective of like things that I admire. Yeah, so I think that basically for me this kind of question comes down to things which I admire in people. So not particularly role models as far as people, but more like characteristics and qualities which disembodied kind of qualities and such, which I can really appreciate. So that's something that kind of happens for me. So I definitely tend to admire qualities of compassion and generosity and wisdom and things like that. So I do my best to kind of incorporate those kinds of things or find that in my own life or within my own kind of existence. So that's something that I kind of do. So that's not particularly like role models, but it kind of is, and I think that's the closest thing I can get to answering this, is that I admired qualities and characteristics. So let's see. As far as people, though, I think that my view on this generally is that there are things to be admired in various people, or things which we might admire or gravitate towards in other people, whether or not that's kind of actually there or it's perceived or something like that. So I personally gravitate towards various things in other people, I guess, like these qualities that I've mentioned, and I can appreciate a kind of atmosphere of a person, and I quite like trying to find things in different people which are admirable and maybe worth respecting and maybe worth developing in my own existence. So I think that these are the kinds of things that I can do and admire. So as far as people, though, I tend to find more of a gravitation towards things that are like aesthetic, so as though to kind of take from other people something that's more of a subjective interpretation of something about their appearance or their way of being that I'm kind of just perceiving maybe, or that is maybe actually there, and maybe turn that into artwork somehow, or reflect on how that relates to my gender and things like that. So that's probably the closest that I get to role models. So interestingly enough, I think I usually admire more immaterial qualities and things like that. But as it relates to other people, I think in general, I'm more interested in physical things, or I tend to take more physical things, or just various qualities which may be there or which I may be perceiving. So yeah, in general, I think I do that, which seems to work out. But I think if I were to put out names, tentatively, I guess I would do this, because this is a person that I really greatly respect, and I'm not sure how others will feel about it or whatever, but regardless of any of that, a person that I really greatly admire and appreciate the ideas of and such is the late great Terence McKenna, who was a wonderful ethnobotanist and psychonaut and general kind of explorer of consciousness and psychedelic use and things like that. So yeah, I very much like a lot of the things that they have to say, and sure, some of it is fairly out there, but I really quite liked a lot of what they had to say. So they passed away, I believe, in around 2005. So that was really quite an unfortunate thing, but I always appreciate their lectures, if you will, and the things that they had to say. And there's plenty of excellent 2-hour videos on YouTube of talks that they gave, so I'm always a fan of them. Yeah, so I think that that's kind of it for me as far as role models and things like that, at least currently as it comes to mind. And then let me find the bonus question again, because I forgot. If you could have one wish come true, what would it be? Interesting. Off the top of my head, I really have no idea. I think it would probably be these kind of things which, if I stated, maybe it sounds kind of like I'm shining my own apple, so to speak, or something. But I don't know, things like a kind of world peace or something. But I think beyond something like that, sort of deeper inner peace and enlightenment or something like that. But these aren't really things that one can wish and make happen. So just by a simple volitional wish. But I think things like that probably is what I'd wish for. In general, though, I'm kind of more of the opinion, actually, of this quote, I think, of be careful what you wish for. I think I actually err more on the side of that, because given our kind of egos and things like that, I think, as far as I've seen it, and this is a little less than light and fun, but I just feel like when you actually look into something like making a wish for something, you gotta really know what your intentions are with a wish. And I think that in general I'm aware of that, so I would almost not make wishes, or my wish would almost be to be free of wishes. So yeah. And an interesting and kind of related note, I actually had a dream a while back which operated under this strange sort of premise where there were these other dream characters and myself, and we all kind of unintentionally made wishes, as though everything that we volitionally wanted kept happening. And it was the strangest thing, because the mind is kind of weird, and so in this dreamlike state, all of these weird things started happening, and sometimes something would just manifest a few seconds later and change the kind of dreamscape because of what someone else or myself had wished. And it was kind of a little bit terrifying in a way. It was a dream, and I don't necessarily give it any credence or value beyond just whatever it is. But I thought that was kind of interesting, and it was a weird thing to experience, like this direct, in some sense, a kind of direct experience of volitional wishes just coming true and manifesting and changing the world around. So it was a dream, but I think that that was kind of interesting and a little bit related to the bonus question. So, for what it's worth, a strange dream-esque story. Yeah. Also, I totally forgot to answer last week's bonus question, which was fun. because I was like, oh shit, the video is gonna end and I gotta get it in 15 minutes. But last week's bonus question I'll answer this week, and it was Mac or PC and why. So personally, I'm, I guess, a user of PCs. I've kind of used Macs before briefly, like, and seen them and such, but I'm not particularly into those, and I think in general the software and stuff that I use really only works on Windows and PC, you know. Also, to put out there, there's sometimes the option of dual booting, which means that you could run, you know, various operating systems on the same computer, but that usually would run from like PC hardware. Just in case you're interested, this is my computer down here. I'll show you on the camera what it is, and yeah, there's that. So yeah, it's oops. Yeah, so that's my computer down there. It's kind of just a custom built sort of thing. I haven't messed with it for about 5 years, and it blue screens of death sometimes, which sucks. But that's basically that. I just kind of run it, you know, it runs Windows 7, and I kind of like it. So in general, I tend to be a PC user because I can do a custom built system, and I kind of like that. Whereas Macs, I think in general, seem to be put together, you know, already, which is fine. And some, you know, you can get that with various PCs as well. But you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Macs usually come in a kind of bundle, like it's done. And I like gathering, you know, the motherboard and the graphics, you know, the graphics card and all of that. Which you can't just throw things together. You have to have some understanding of how these things work. But in general, I find that to be more of value and like a lasting value than just buying a pre-made computer. So I tend to be a fan of PCs for that reason. Linux is also pretty cool as well, even though that's technically an operating system which would run on PCs usually. I don't think you could run that on a Mac, but maybe. Yeah, so yeah, in general though, I stick with Windows and a PC because it works, and it, you know, and all of the software kind of tends to only be available on Windows, at least the stuff that I run. So that's kind of what I do. Alright, so hopefully that's kind of helpful and fun and answered the question this week. So yeah, hope you guys got something out of that, and looking forward to seeing everybody else's videos as usual. I thought last week was really great, really awesome to see everybody's videos and stuff. So yeah, and then of course I haven't seen Matt's video yet for this week, so if you want to post it today or whenever you end up posting that, I'm certainly fine with you posting today as well. I have no problem with that. So yeah. Alright, hope you all will take care and have a great week. Alright, peace.